Welcome to Optiml. My name's Zach, and in this video, we're going to walk through how to set up your new account from start to finish. Now, throughout your onboarding experience, you can always refer to our AI agent, Ava. Ava knows everything about Optiml and can answer any questions you have about what specific questions are being asked or how to input your information correctly. Now, it's also highly recommended to have your investment details ready before starting your onboarding. That includes the balances of each of your TFSA, RSP, and non-registered investments. Now, on the profile page, this is where you'll select your province and territory for tax purposes and your language preferences. Optiml is available in both English and French. Now, you'll input your date of birth, gender, and occupation. Now, if you are building your plan with your spouse, simply select yes and input their information. Now, plan length, this is just asking you life expectancy. This is how long we're going to build your plan for, just based on what you're inputting for your life expectancy. Beauty of Optiml is you're able to update this and run different plans with different life expectancies to see how your plan changes. Now, on the income page, if you're still working, this is where you'll select yes and input your employment type, whether it's a T4 employee or if you're self-employed. For those who are already retired, simply select no and click next to continue. Now, for those still working, you'll input your employment type, your current salary, and how you think your salary will grow each year. Now, you can edit the default 2% setting if you think it'll grow a little more aggressively, and then select your planned age of retirement. So in this example, we'll just select a planned age of retirement. We'll build out the table showing our salary growing each year. Now, if you do indicate you're retiring within the next 5 years, you can also indicate the month you plan to retire. Once all information is provided, select next to continue. Now we're on the CPP, or for our Quebec users, the QPP page. This is where you'll indicate if you're eligible for CPP and input how you'd like to input your payment details. Now, if you know exactly what the CRA is telling you you're going to receive at the age of 65, you can input your own personal number here. Now, if you're unsure or just want to streamline the onboarding process, you can use the average, which today is $803. And when you plan to start taking CPP. This doesn't mean it's the optimal age. This is just the age we'll build your plan around first, and then we can optimize to identify when is the best time to take CPP based on your unique situation. Once all required fields are completed, click next, and that'll take us to the old age security page. So if you're eligible, select yes, and indicate whether you've lived in Canada for the full 40 years between age 18 and 65. If yes, select when you plan to start taking old age security. Same situation as the CPP. This will build the plan around this selected age. However, you can then optimize when to start taking government benefits once you've run your plan. Now, for those who haven't qualified for the full 40 years, that's okay. You can select no and indicate how many years you will have lived in Canada between the ages of 18 and 65. Now, these are all the required fields for the income page. Now, for those who have a pension, you can still add your pension by clicking pension and identifying the type of pension you own. You may have multiple pensions and you're able to capture these all on the pension page. For users with other income that is not included of business income or rental property income, so this could be a secondary job, whether it's a reoccurring income or a one-time payment you anticipate, you can add any other income sources on the other income page. Once you've completed all your income, we'll select and continue to investments. We'll start on the TFSA page. So this is where you'll indicate if you currently have a TFSA. If yes, input the combined total value. So if you have multiple TFSA accounts, and of course you'll have multiple investments, you just need to input the combined total value. We then need to know if you have any unused contribution room. Now, this would include the current year's available contribution room or any previous carryover contribution room you still have. You also need to know what you've done so far this year. So if you've already contributed a certain amount, the algorithm needs to know that. If you've made withdrawals, it needs to know that from a cash flow perspective. So just make sure you input exactly what you've done so far this calendar year. And finally, the growth rate. So it defaults to 6%. This is what your TFSA is going to grow by each year of the plan. Now, if you want to be a little more conservative, you can come in and adjust this, or being a little more aggressive, you have the ability to input and select your own growth rate. Now, for users that don't have a TFSA, who however may be eligible, you can indicate the details around when you became eligible, whether you've been eligible for that full amount, or if you were out of country for a certain amount of years, You can select when you didn't have eligible period. Once all required fields are completed, select next. Then we're on the RSP page. So very similar to the TFSA, you'll indicate if you're eligible or not. If you are, you'll input what the current RSP value is, what you've done so far this year, if you have any other unused contribution room, and the growth rate. Now for those who have employee-employer matching, this can all be captured in Optiml. So you'll just indicate yes, and the percentage of your salary that your employee-employer contributes. And when you plan to convert your RSP to a RIF. So in Canada, by default, this will convert at age 71. If you are running this plan with your partner, you can take advantage of RIF splitting as early as age 65. However, you have the freedom and flexibility to pick an age that works best for you. So once you've completed the TFSA and RSP, the registered page now allows you to input any other registered accounts you may have, whether it's a RIF, LIRA, LIF, RDSP. You can just click in and add in the details. Once you've completed all your registered accounts, we can continue on to non-registered investments. Now, non-registered is essentially all your other investments that are not already in registered accounts. So if you do have non-registered investments, select yes, input the combined total value and the book value. So this is where we'll calculate your capital gains taxes if and when any withdrawals are completed. So again, the book value is what you paid to acquire those particular investments. We also need to know your activity for the year and whether or not any of your non-registered investments are income bearing. So for users that do invest in particular stocks that you know you're receiving a dividend or any interest income, you can capture this level of detail. So let's say we have a $5,000 interest income investment. What do you do with that? Do you reinvest it? Do you take it home as income? Is it a combination of anything in between? You can capture this granularity of your interest and dividend investments. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with this, you can just select no and capture all the growth in that 6% in the annual growth rate. Now, once all your information is completed, select next. Now, once you've added your non-registered, you may have other fixed income such as bonds or GICs you want to capture in, or any cash savings. Cash savings might be anything in your checkings or savings account. Let's say we have $10,000 in our savings account. What do we want to do with that money? Now, you may want Optiml to optimize the entire cash savings, meaning this will simulate a withdrawal and tell you exactly where that money should be allocated across your investments or to cover your expenses. Now, you may want to maintain a minimum cash balance. Let's say you always want to maintain $10,000, and you can indicate you want to keep that money in the checkings, or even build up a cash wedge. So let's say we want to get up to $30,000, and we want to do so over the next 4 years. Optiml will build out a deposit strategy. Now, you can manually override this if you want to be a little more aggressive up front or do bigger payments down the line. And this will build up that cash wedge in Optiml. Checking or savings account may have a modest growth rate, so you can come in and input the annual growth rate. So once you've added your non-registered investments, we can go to the assets page. So as you see on screen here, this could be real estate, life insurance, inheritance, private equity, any other assets you may want to capture in Optiml. Now in this video, we'll just cover adding a primary residence. However, all the inputs are very straightforward. So when we select real estate, primary residence, this is where you can input the current value of your primary residence and how you think that's going to grow in value each year. They can also capture the expenses around your primary residence, whether that's just day-to-day operating expenses, the insurance, the property taxes. If you still have a remaining mortgage, you can drop in the mortgage details, what your monthly or minimum monthly payments are, and the current interest rate. Now in the table below, this will show you the interest rate and calculated annual payments. You can edit the interest rate if you want to change that periodically throughout the plan. And you can also simulate paying down lump sum payments. So any additional payments on top of your minimum payment schedule to simulate paying down the mortgage early. We also need to know your future plans of your primary residence. Now, if you never plan to sell or at least want to simulate leaving a pure estate, simply select no. If you do want to downsize or upsize in the future, you can select that you do plan to sell, when that might happen, and what you're going to be doing. So we could just say we're going to sell and rent, and input anticipated monthly rent, or we can simulate purchasing a new home. We would drop in the dollar value. This will of course adjust for inflation in the year that you're purchasing it, capture all the operating details, the mortgage and the amortization schedule, and then what your plans are for that home. So you can actually simulate upsizing or downsizing or just selling and renting up to 5 times. So once we've captured our primary residence, you can add any other assets, then we can move forward to goals. So goals are future purchases you want to simulate happening in Optiml, whether that's purchasing more real estate, renovating an existing real estate, budgeting for reoccurring payments or potentially a one-off expense, gifting to the kids rather than leaving it just for the estate. You can simulate them enjoying your wealth whilst you're still around. This can all be captured here in Optiml. Then we move on to expenses, starting with debt. So debt, as you can see on screen, there's a lot of different debt types. So you can add the details around any debt you currently have or that you want to simulate including in your plan. Once you've added your debt, we get to the expenses page. Now this is the most important page in Optiml, because this is really what you're telling Optiml how much money you need in after-tax dollars each and every year of your plan. So when you start, we'll input the annual living expenses. So let's say we need $50,000. Now that's just in the living expenses. If we did add any goals or any fixed expenses like we see here, the primary residence with the mortgage and operating expenses, this is already captured. So we just need to input what other discretionary living expenses do we have. And this total here is how much money I need in after-tax dollars today. But what I spend today is of course going to change throughout my lifetime. So how do I want that to change? We can just grow it by a fixed growth rate, in this example 2%, and we'll essentially just see expenses just growing each year. Now you can also simulate different phases in life. Now we do have a designated video just on the go, slow go, no go simulation, but at a high level, this allows you to select when you want to create different spending phases in life. You could plan this around retirement to start the go up until age 72, from 72 to 80. This is when things will start to slow down, and then from 80 onwards it actually starts to taper off. So we can see the different phases on the graph. Now you could be a little more aggressive in spending, a little more conservative, or customize it and input your own percentage of spending just based on your current expenses. You can also manually adjust any year's living expenses if you think you'll need a little more or a little less. But the most important part to view is the total column. Between your living expenses, fixed expenses or any goals, this total column is exactly how much money you need in after-tax income to live the lifestyle that you want to live each and every year of the plan. Now, once you've completed your expenses, select Next. Now, the strategy page is where you're picking your type of financial planning strategy, whether you want to maximize your after-tax estate, spend it all throughout retirement. This is the page where you can select the different strategies, which will then build out your optimal deposit and withdrawal strategy. Now, as a new user, we'll be required to set the baseline strategy. So this is running a traditional plan. It has a set deposit, it has a set withdrawal order. This just sets the baseline before you can start optimizing tax efficient strategies. Now we also have a designated video that covers all the differences in strategies and what they can do for you. But in this video, that wraps up our onboarding process, and tune into the next video where we cover the actual dashboard and what your plan looks like.